Здравствуйте, comrade. Alright, today we have here a 1864 Nepalese copy of the Snider rifle. Snider Enfield. This gun is a copy of the British firearm. This was patented, or I don't know if it was patented. Anyway, it was developed by Jacob Snider, who was an American, for the British trials when they were looking for a cartridge-fed weapon to move away from the Enfield muzzleloader. The way that this worked was that this started life, now this rifle here didn't, but these rifles started life as a muzzleloader, and they cut off the breech here, kept the lock, added a mechanism, literally, which allowed room for a chamber. Now this is a Nepalese copy from the IMA cache, and you can tell it's the numbers here are obviously not in Arabic numerals. So I've been told that they graduate from 1 to 800 meters, but it's all Nepalese to me. So anyway, this gun was a incredible advantage versus traditional muzzleloaders, i.e. the Enfield that came before it. The Enfield trials, when they tested this gun versus the muzzleloader, this gun could get off 20 shots in about 2.5 minutes versus the Enfield, which took about 7.5 minutes, so quite an improvement. Now the great thing about these Snider rifles, especially the ones from IMA, is that you don't have to have reloading equipment to fire them. These here are 24 gauge shotgun holes. They have a charge of about 55 grains of black powder, cotton wad, about 35 grains of grits, and then a 5.95 round ball lubed with Crisco pushed down on top. Now you do have to cut the, and you can see I've kind of jury cut it here, you do have to cut these down to about 1.9 inches so that they'll chamber, but they fire just fine in it. So this is called plastic Snider chow. Anyway, so we're going to load it up here and take a couple of shots and see how we do. I have never actually attempted to fire this thing accurately, so I'm not entirely certain what kind of accuracy we're going to get. You see there, it just loads in. You got to cock the hammer back. And so we're going to take a shot at that guy and just see where we come up here. Not bad. Now to eject, you're going to just pull down, comes out, flip it over, and there you go. Unlike brass, these are kind of a one-shot deal because the heat forms little holes in the plastic. However, as far as I'm aware, it's completely safe. So we just load up another one here, cock it, take aim, and fire. Eject and toss. So, very much an improvement. Now, this ultimately was a stopgap measure by the British. They adopted the Martini Henry rifle in about 1871, which replaced this. So this didn't have a very long service life. As I said, this was a Nepalese copy, so this one served a little bit longer. I'm not entirely certain how long the Nepalese employed them. I think it was up until the beginning of the 20th century. I know that Canada also really liked their Sniders and equipped them up to, I think, 1895 for some of their more remote units. Seeing that this is from the Nepal cache, you can see all the Nepalese markings here, and the script on it. And it's got this, it's kind of stripped, but it still holds. You know, more Nepalese markings, and actually pretty much every little bit is marked accordingly. Now, some of these parts do come from Britain. Mostly they are indigenous, though. Surprisingly to me, as those of you who have ordered from IMA are aware, typically these guns come in pretty rough condition if you order the untouched ones. This one had pretty much zero pitting on the barrel. I was very pleasantly surprised with it. And they're a lot of fun. They're very cheap to shoot as well, especially if you cast your own lead like I do. So let's just take a few more shots here, and let's see how quickly we can get off 3 shots versus a muzzleloader. There's 1, 2, 3. Keep in mind, I am not an expert with this firearm here. You can imagine just how beneficial that would have been in a combat situation over a muzzleloader. You can imagine why we went to cartridge weapons today. This barrel does heat up a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty warm now. But like I said, when I chronograph these with about 55 grains, and some people do more, some people do less, I got somewhere around the neighborhood of 1150 feet per second. I'm not entirely certain what the original loading went as far as feet per second. I believe it was around that range, maybe a little higher. But she's never given me any troubles. It's a great gun. Dirty as all get out when I got her. And you can see here what's left of the woodworm damage. I filled that and covered it up, and there's a little bit more here. I didn't want to make it super shiny or look great. I wanted it to keep its character. And so, because of that, I made sure that these woodworm damages here were kept up. Now, I don't know about those eyes. Those kind of strike me as British parts, but I have no information to back that up. I do love a brass butt plate, though. I think the brass furniture really accents the weapon very well. We'll go ahead and fire it a couple more times just because we have it out. Also, because black powder is so corrosive, you might as well shoot it when you can here. Because I'm going to have to clean this pretty much instantly after I'm done shooting. So it's not giving me too bad of accuracy here. We're only about 20 yards away. They don't like to stay put. We're only about 20 yards away, but accuracy's not bad. My target there is just kind of jury-rigged, so it's going to come off before too long. Keep in mind, 3 of those shots were rapid fire too, and I don't know which ones were which. Alright, so we got a couple more shells here, and we'll go ahead and just take a couple more shots here. We really aim on it. Come on in. But we seem to be having a little bit of trouble here. Yep. Well, I guess that concludes our video for the day. We'll figure this out and see what's going on with it. And I think that's all we got. Alright, so anyway, I managed to get that out. It was just a little stuck in there, but a quick ramrod jab popped it right out. This is one of the spent casings here, and you can see this pinhole. This is typically what forms because of the heat, which is why these things are just kind of one shot and done. So anyway, here's your addendum.